All right. This is Coach Alex here with Ignite Fitness, bringing you another episode of Coach's Corner. Today, I'm lucky enough to have Coach Joe with us on the Ignite platform out of Tennessee. We got Coach Cole out of AZ. You guys have heard him before. And you got Coach Kris out of Ohio, right? So thank you guys for being here with me today. How's everybody feeling?
I can't
I
complain.
feel great over here in Tennessee.
Yeah, good. Kris is good out in Ohio. Cole, how you doing out there in AZ?
We're doing pretty well. It's sunny and 75. It's kind of hard to beat.
Right. I hear you. Well, everywhere else it's raining right now, so you know we got those spring showers in here. Right on. So today we're going to talk about nutrient timing. Right, that's the topic today. We're going to go over the strategic intake of food and supplements around workouts and how it plays a crucial role in optimizing performance, enhancing your recovery, and supporting muscle growth. In this discussion, we'll discover what nutrient timing is and why it matters, the science behind pre, intra, and post-workout nutrition, and common myths and misconceptions. Also, how to apply nutrient timing strategies for different fitness goals. Coaches in here today, guys, we're pretty lucky. We have an extensive backgrounds. We have sports athletics, we have bodybuilding, we have military vets. We have a whole mix of people that have just been involved in fitness for really most of their lives, right? So you're going to get some good stuff today on the podcast. So welcome back. We're going to talk about this topic that can take your performance and recovery to that next level, nutrient timing. We're breaking down how and when you eat is just as important as what you eat.
Nutrient timing has been a hot topic in sports nutrition for years, and it's for good reason. The right nutrients at the right time can boost energy, accelerate muscle recovery, and even improve body composition.
Right.
But here's the catch. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Some people swear by eating immediately after workout or loading up on carbs before training. Others say timing doesn't matter at all. So what's the truth? That's what we're here to uncover today.
Right. I just quick side note, Coach Alex here talking is like, dude, when I was a kid, I grew up playing ice hockey, right? You guys know that. I've told some of you guys, listeners and stuff, but I was a big ice hockey guy. I took it pretty far. But when I was a kid, dude, I just kid you not, we would go to this place called Three Brothers and we'd eat a bunch of chili cheese fries before our fucking practices. And I would never get sick, dude, never throw up, man. My body, I have an iron stomach, I like to say, but it's funny. Nowadays, thinking back, I can't do that as an adult, right? I would definitely be feeling ill. But I was getting all those quick carbs, dude. Quick carbs from those fries. I didn't even realize, it's not even something I thought about. The chili may be a little bit different, but the fries, quick carbs. So, yeah, it's funny. But yeah, you guys, what do you think, Kris? So like immediately after a workout or loading up on carbs before training, right? Others say timing doesn't matter. So like, what is the truth behind this? So what do you think, Kris? What's going on? What are we going to start with? Let's talk about the science of nutrient timing.
Let's start with the basics. Why does nutrient timing matter? It all comes down to fueling your body efficiently. Just like a car needs the right type of fuel at the right time, your muscles need specific nutrients before, during, and after training to perform and recover optimally.
Right.
Right. And to understand this, let's break it down into three key phases. So you got your first one, which is pre-workout nutrition, what to eat before training or for energy and endurance. Your second is intra-workout nutrition, how to sustain performance during training. And lastly, your post-workout nutrition, what to eat after training to enhance recovery.
Roger that. So Coach Alex here, young guys, before we move on, personally, I used to do BCAAs during my workout, intra-workout. Have any of you guys had experience with that? I honestly didn't see much of an effect on that for me personally. Everybody's different though.
I tried the BCAAs. Actually, since I've been doing competition, I've actually been taking this supplement called Carbulin.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do any pre-workout anymore. That's strictly what I do. That with mixed with creatine, and I don't get that crash anymore. Because all the sugar and whatnot that most of those workout has. I don't get that crash. I get an insane pump during my workouts. I don't I don't hit a roadblock or that brick wall in the middle of my workout. I'm pretty much fueled the whole time through. I actually use it every now and then. I don't abuse it too much, but every now and then I use it in lieu of an energy drink in the morning or something if I just need something to boost me up just a little bit. But I see a lot of good results with the intra workout using that stuff.
Nice, man. Yeah. So that similarly, like I have a pre-workout, but it's a non-stim one. Trying to like not. I use caffeine when it's needed, right? I'm trying to use it as like a really timing for caffeine for me is pretty huge because I'm a little sensitive when it comes to that. But I'll use like a non-stim also with creatine, and I'll use it as a pre-workout, but also drink it during my workout. And I find that I don't know if it's a placebo, but that'll kind of like keep me going during the workout. And again, that you don't get that crash that you get from some of these like crazy pre-workouts out there with like the sugars and everything else, caffeine and everything else in them. So definitely a good point. Thank you. Right on. Cole, Coach Cole, where are we at? Like, what do we think? We'll talk a little bit scientifically how we break it down. So we have a couple of references we'll use.
Yeah, if we look at the research, there's a study published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition that found consuming carbs and protein before and after workouts leads to better muscle protein synthesis compared to eating at random times. This kind of goes back to that food is fuel thing that we were talking about before. That's going to be a big key here. And another study in sports medicine showed that athletes who properly time their carbohydrate intake recover faster and perform better in subsequent workouts.
Right. I think that has to do with the fact that like, and this is kind of up for debate, guys. So like, don't quote me on it, but like you'll hear about like, hey, dude, you need to get in that protein like immediately after your workout, right? The quicker you get it in, the quicker. Now there's like studies that show like up to like several hours after your workout, that's just as efficient. But like, I think all of us kind of get in the mindset like, dude, you have your protein shake or whatever, chicken, whatever you're eating, right after you work out, right? Because you need to get that protein. But another thing is coupled by carbs, right? Unless you're on like a keto diet or something, but coupled by carbs, because carbs are going to replenish that glucose in your system that really is what fuels you, right? That's the energy. So you're going to get the energy back, but also the carbs are going to go in and it's going to help that protein travel to your muscles faster, from what I've understood from the science. Have any of you guys experienced something like that or have any knowledge on that?
Yeah, I was growing up, and when I was starting to get into weightlifting, back in the military, like everyone's like, "Oh, the golden hour! You have to drink a shake within that first 60 seconds, 60 minutes." And then I started doing my own research. I'm like, this isn't necessarily 100% accurate here, and I prefer eating versus drinking when it comes to getting my nutrients in me, because the body digests it better or differently, and it gets I get more of it, and it affects the kidneys. So I'm the type of person that after I get out of my gym session, if it just happens to be when I need to eat, then great. If not, then I'm chuckling through the rest of my time until it's time to eat again. So.
Roger that. I don't know if you guys seen Coach Joe. Dude, the guy's massive too, so he kind of knows what he's talking about, man. So check him out. We'll get that later on. We'll close out and like we'll give you all the coaches' information, so where you can get a hold of them, how you can reach out to them, their social media stuff like that. But yeah, the guy knows what he's talking about. All the coaches in here too. So thanks for your input, Coach Joe. Right on. So like let's break it down phase by phase and talk about exactly what to eat and when to eat. Right. So first up would be our pre-workout nutrition. The goal is to fuel your body so that you have enough energy to push through your workout without feeling sluggish, right? You don't want to feel like overwhelmed, but not, you want to have enough energy, but not sluggish, right? So what do you think, Coach Joe?
So generally what you want is a meal that's going to be high in complex carbs for your sustained energy, moderate in protein to support that muscle preservation, and also low in fat and fiber to avoid digestion issues.
Right. Roger that. How about Coach Kris? What do you think?
Here are some great pre-workout meal examples: oatmeal with banana and protein powder, chicken and rice with a small amount of veggies, and a smoothie with berries, Greek yogurt, and honey.
Dude, I don't know if you guys have been on this, Coach Alex here. So instead of doing the smoothie with Greek yogurt and honey, dude, just straight up have Greek yogurt, mix a scoop of protein, like peanut butter protein, non-fat Greek yogurt, like plain, right? Mix whatever, vanilla, chocolate. I'll add peanut butter protein. I mix that in with my Greek yogurt. I'll add some like mixed berries on top, and then I'll do a little bit of honey. Oh, dude, I could eat that anytime.
You're speaking my love language right now. That is my go-to snack when I'm craving something.
Yeah, that's the best, dude. It's the best. Oh, what do you go to, Coach?
I don't like Greek yogurt, so mixing protein powder with some berries on it, it gets that taste away from it.
Yeah, so. It almost makes it like ice cream, What about Coach Cole? What do you go to, man?
My go-to is a PB&J usually.
Nice.
That's a solid one for me.
Hell yeah, man. You get solid. That's super quick energy right there, dude. That's good. You know, I love that. I love that. All right. Yeah, so that's some good examples of what to eat and when. Thanks, Coach Kris, for that input, man. Those are all great meals, staple meals. And honestly, if you can kind of stick to that before your pre-workout, guaranteed you're going to have some energy and not feel like boggled down, right? And all sluggish. All right, Coach Cole, what's another like myth out there that we can kind of bust for people?
I think one of the biggest ones is definitely going to be fasted training. Some people think training on an empty stomach burns more fat, but research shows that eating before training leads to better overall performance and muscle retention. You know, if you fuel for that workout and have enough food to actually go and train harder, that's going to yield more results than, you know, not getting that headache and not feeling as good when you're working out.
Copy that, dude. Anybody else have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I you know, fat loss is the goal. Meal timing matters. Less than the total calories over the day. The takeaway: if you feel better training fasted, then do it. But if you're lifting heavier, training intensely, eat first. Me personally, I've had a lot of clients, you know, that didn't know much, but they swore by intermittent fasting or fasted training and things like that. And I would just start asking them random questions. One of the things I would always ask, like one of the first few questions, like, do you have chronic headaches or migraines? And like 9 times out of 10, like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's stop the fasted training. Let's just eat some food. Right. I don't personally believe in the fasted training myself for my own personal goals and needs. I have had some clients do it that did see good results, but that is a case-by-case basis for me. And that has to be a, like, for lack of better words, a last resort for me. If it's someone that has a very specific goal for a very specific event and time, like I have a female client getting married in 3 months and she needs to fit in this wedding dress she bought that's like 2 sizes too small. Awesome. Then we might try some fasted training and see how her body reacts to that.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I agree with both of y'all. In the sense of it's going to be per person, right? Depending on what their goals are and how they're at. I mean, and also the timing of your training. If you're training at 4:30 in the morning, dude, sometimes you go and have a protein shake or you have like berries and Greek yogurt that early, dude, you'll feel more sick than if you went fasted. So it depends on when you're training, what time of the day, you know, what your body's used to. And then overall, like how you are, right? I think the point Coach Cole is making with this is like, you're going to be able to get more out of your workout if you have energy, right? Now, if you already have stored energy, right, through being a little bit overweight and other stuff like that, or maybe the day before, whatever you ate the day before, like we have up to 2,000 calories worth of stored, usually glucose in our body. We have the average person, as sad as this is, I think has up to like 30,000 stored calories, if not more, of fat, right, in our body. So we got the energy there. It's just a matter of where we're going to pull it from, right? The other point being that Coach Joe brought up was like, yeah, dude, like some people just do better on a fasted training. You know, they're able to tap into the different resources that their body has and they do well. Other people, they might get headaches. They might like just have a lackluster performance in their training, and you're able to train harder if you eat. So really it's going to be that individual person and like figuring that out for yourself, what works, what doesn't work, and maybe mixing it up sometimes. Right. So what do you think, Coach Joe? Where are we going with that? Yeah. So I mean, you talked about like if fat loss was the goal and everything. So yeah, I agree with you. Cool. All right, guys. Coach Kris, where are we at here now? Let's go into intra-workout, right? So we covered pre-workout. We talked about what to eat, when to eat it, you know, how to do it if you want to do it fasted or whatnot. How about intra-workout, Coach Kris? What should we do like while we're working out?
Intra-workout nutrition is not essential for everyone, but it's a game changer for long, intense sessions.
Right on. Yeah. So what would you say, like, kind of beyond that, man? So like you can keep going. Like, what do you think? Like, if their workout's less than an hour, what should they be doing?
If their workout's less than an hour, I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of BCAAs. I did take a free sample from the Arnold Classic, but if you feel that it works for you, to each their own, basically.
Yeah, roger that, man. Yeah, I agree with you, man. We tried to talk about that a little bit before we got on air. It's like, yeah, I've tried the BCAAs while I was working out, and I didn't see much of a difference. I didn't feel much of a difference in energy or anything like that. I'm able to really maintain my effort. sometimes I'll do like what we talked about is like a pre-workout with non-stim for me, and I'll drink that during my workout, like maybe the first quarter or first half of my workout as well. Kind of keeps me going. But most of the time, if I'm in the game mode, right, I got good music in my headphones and I'm just rocking out and I'm like going for it. Like I don't really need too much intra workout. That's me personally. It's gonna be different for anyone. If you're training for 90 plus minutes though, or doing high intensity endurance work, you might want to consider electrolytes, right? Sodium, potassium, magnesium to prevent cramping. Those are huge out there right now, and they're fucking expensive, guys. Like, dude, this is no plug or anything, but Element and like all these different types of electrolyte places out there, dude. Basically, it is sodium, potassium, and magnesium, right? You can even do like baking soda. I'm not saying go chug baking soda. Like, we're not medical professionals. Don't take that. But like, you can do like a little thing of baking soda in your water and get very similar nutrients, right? So there's also fast digesting carbs like sports drinks or fruit to maintain energy. I went down this road, guys. True story is like, I don't really drink soda. I've never really enjoyed soda. I got lucky that way. When I would have a soda, it'd be like a Sprite or something. But I was big on like Gatorades. I would, instead of having soda, I'd go have Gatorade and I'd drink that in place of water at times. And like, I didn't realize how many sugars I was actually putting into my body. So be careful with those sports drinks. Yes, they have their time and place. If you're going for like 90 plus minutes, you're doing an intense workout session, or you're doing something where you're playing a sport, a sports drink can really help you replenish, but it's not really meant beyond that, in my opinion. Fruit is always a great one too. I remember when I was a kid, we used to have orange slices and shit halfway through our soccer games. At halftime, parents would give us orange slices to eat and stuff like that. So I don't know if that ages me or dates me, but yeah. So these are great things that you can do intra workout. But again, if you're doing less than an hour, just staying hydrated is usually enough. What's your guys' take on that?
Yeah, I agree with all that. Like if you're not training that hard, or you're not training long, there's really, I mean, you're just wasting money really, and trying to buy the fancy label supplement just to get you through a workout that it's really not needed.
Right, I agree. What do you think, Coach Cole and Coach Kris?
Yeah, I think it's more so about that kind of excretion level. So if we're sweating a lot and actually depleting ourselves of the electrolytes we have, that's when doing something like a Gatorade or an LMNT is going to be perfect for us. But if we're just going in and getting like a quick pump, your fuel before the session should be more than enough to get you through.
Yeah, roger that. Cool. Right on. Well, I appreciate that, guys. Good input on that. All right. Well, let's keep moving. We kind of busted the myth on BCAAs and essential amino acids. Like I think Coach Joe had already mentioned, dude, it may help reduce muscle breakdown and everything, but like, that's when you're training fasted or in a calorie deficit. Like most of the time, dude, you're training for less than an hour, just staying hydrated, right? Stay hydrated, stay on point. You'll be all right. Stay off your phone, Anyways, Coach Cole, where are we at? Let's go on to our next little topic here. Post-workout nutrition, right? So we did pre, intra, and now post, maximizing recovery.
Yeah, here we are just talking about what to eat after training. The goal really is refueling, repairing, and recovering.
For sure.
This means protein 20 to 40 grams to rebuild muscle, carbohydrates 30 to 60 grams to replenish glycogen, and hydration to replace lost fluids.
Right on. Thanks, Coach Kris. So like protein, 20 to 40 grams, you can find that usually in a protein shake, right? You have 1 or 2 scoops, do that protein shake. Like Coach Joe said earlier, I kind of gotten away from the shakes and I've gotten more towards eating it, right? Just based off of the level it has on your kidneys and effect it can have on your kidneys, especially when you're having a lot of protein, right? 200 plus grams of protein a day. Shit takes its toll on your kidneys and liver. So eating it, you're going to kind of have a little bit different results there. Honestly, you have that Greek yogurt, protein, some berries, and like honey that we talked about pre-workout as post-workout as well. You're going to get about 40 grams of protein out of that bad boy. So definitely something to consider. Carbohydrates help replenish. You get that glycogen back in and hydration, right, to replace those lost fluids. Perfect. Makes sense, Kris. Thank you. Where are we at, Joe? What's a good post-workout meal?
So some good post-workout meals. One of them is like eggs with toast with avocado. Actually, I love if I do an early morning gym session, I do like to have some eggs with toast with avocado on it. And my absolute number one go-to after any workout I have in the afternoon or evening, it's going to be chicken with sweet potatoes. I'll crunch up the sweet potatoes. I'll make it into like a mashed sweet potato, and I don't anyone who knows me knows I don't like chicken, and it's weird being a bodybuilder. I don't like chicken. But if I mix it in with some sweet potatoes, we're golden. All right, we're cooking with something. And then you got your low hanging fruit one here, a protein shake with a banana and some oats. That's what typically most people go with because that's what they see everyone with. That's kind of, I would venture to say it's the most popular thing for most lifters or gym goers.
Yeah.
But maybe not necessarily a popular one for people that are more advanced in their lifting career, if you will.
Right. 100%. Yeah. Protein shake is the go-to, right, for everybody. That's funny, man. Bowls become king, right, dude? Like when you start eating the same thing over and over too, just finding little ways to mix it up, you know? So if you're like chicken and sweet potatoes, mash that shit all together, put some fucking sriracha in there or something, like you're good.
Oh,
You got to make those mixed bowls, man. You just, cause like you're really be eating the same shit over and over, although it's disciplined. And then when you start looking at food as fuel, it's what we do. But, yeah, you gotta throw little things in there because that shit. Chicken sometimes can get me too, man. It can. We're like, fuck, dude, chicken again. But hey, it's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah, the classic anabolic window, right? Joe talked on this earlier. A couple guys talked on this earlier. That there's a myth that says you have to eat it immediately after training, or that you waste the workout. But research shows that you have at least 3 to 4 hours post training to optimize muscle recovery, right? So I'm not saying that don't get it within that first 60 minutes, you know, an hour, hour and a half, whatever. But there is research out there that shows the contrary, guys. Stick to your meal plan, stick to your diet. Don't have to overdo it, right? A lot of my clients, dude, have been like, man, I'm gaining weight, right? And they're kind of focused on the scale, even though their body is, they're going through body recomposition where they're losing fat and gaining muscle. But it's a lot of times guys will gain weight because they're sticking to the same meal plan they've been doing, which is great. But then they're adding in like 2 protein shakes a day, right? Which depending on what type of protein you get, that can be an extra 200 calories each time, you know? So you're talking an extra 400 calories. Actually, now they're in a calorie surplus, you know, rather than a deficit, based off of the extra protein shakes and protein bars and all this other stuff. So stick to your meal plan. You don't have to crush something right after. Research shows you have about 3 to 4 hours. All right. Let's go to some audience Q&As, some questions we put together for everybody. Here's a question for you, Coach Cole. Should I eat carbs at night if I work out in the evening?
Yeah, I think this is one of those common myths too that we're kind of going over today. But yeah, you can eat carbs at night. It won't make you fat. If you're training in the evening, especially, eating carbs post-workout is going to help you with that recovery and sleep, kind of like we've been talking about. We still got to fuel ourselves at the end of the day.
For sure. Thank you. Good point. Here's another one. Here's one for Coach Kris. How important is hydration in nutrient timing?
It's huge. Even 2% dehydration can decrease performance by 20%. Make sure you're drinking consistently throughout the day.
Right on, man. Yeah, that's wild. That's a wild stat that we have there. 2% dehydration can decrease performance by 20%. So fuck, man. Stay hydrated, guys. Stay hydrated. We'll let Joe close it off. Coach Joe, that was a really good podcast for us, guys. Let's before we just all check out, let's make sure we can get where everyone can get a hold of us and everything. But let's let Coach Joe give us a recap where we can close it off.
All right, let's recap the biggest takeaways here. So first one we have, fuel before training for energy. You need to have it. Hydrate and use intra-workout carbs for endurance, and prioritize protein and carbs post-workout for recovery. All these are massively important, so don't forget them and start putting them into your plans.
Right on. Thanks for joining us, guys, this week. We'll see you on next session. We're going to be talking about periodization and programming, probably a lot of linear periodization, other types of periodization we can go through. We did have some references today. Nutrient timing, this means to be improved exercise performance, recovery, training, adaptation. That was by Aragon, AA, and Schoenfeld. And then we have IBJL 2002, early post-exercise muscle glycogen recovery is enhanced with a carbohydrate protein supplement. All right, guys. So let's go through it. Coach Kris, first, thank you for coming with us today. Where can our listeners reach out to you? Obviously, they'll find you on our public school platform, but what's your social media or anything that they can reach out and kind of directly follow you?
Most of the fitness related content that I post is actually on TikTok. And then my username is ChrisYoung02 if you try to find me.
Okay. Kris Young,
Yep.
YOUNG 02. And that's on TikTok, guys. And that's where most of his content is. So appreciate you being here with us, Kris, today. Great job. Coach Cole, how about yourself? Where can everybody find you at?
Yeah, my main page is going to be on my Instagram. You can find that at Calhoun, CALHOUN _performance. And I just started a TikTok that's going to be the same thing, but instead of an underscore, you're going to have a dot. So Calhoun.performance on TikTok, Calhoun _performance on Instagram.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach Cole. And then lastly, Coach Joe, where can everybody listen and where they can find you and follow your journey?
Man, you guys can find me on Facebook or Instagram. My Facebook, if you just type in Joe Armistead, you'll find me right there. But my Instagram, if you type in Stead, which is STEAD 0317.ja, that's going to take you right to me.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on board today and helping out people and helping out different coaches around the world, as well as around all the different clients that might need to hear this type of stuff. So thank you, guys, and we'll definitely catch you next time.